Hey, all. Just here to offer another update. Um, Thank you for all the support. People donating to GoFundMe, coming by to help clear out the house, um, bringing food. Um, Thank you. Um, Took me at 7:45 at night. It took me all day to get to the place where I could hit record. Um, Tried to have a day of rest, but it was a tougher day for me. You might be able to see the acne on my chest from the EGFR treatment. That's where the chemo goes in. That's the port. I have to Band-Aid over it, but anyway, at least it gives you the location there. So tough day. No BM yesterday or today, essentially. A medicine for it, but it's happened last session for like 3 days, 3.5, I forget. Deeply worrying and difficult and challenging. I've had these kind of brief but waves of maybe pain, maybe real discomfort, I'm not really sure, but in the belly, I was gesturing, but it's off camera, that have happened. Kind of feel like if I can go to the bathroom, it'd help. A few minutes ago, I vomited for the first time this whole thing happened, but I hadn't been nauseated at all. Brief little vomit, productive, but small. So that was new. I don't know if it helped me feel better or not, but it seems to have just passed really briefly. And I was prepared for it. I had something by the bedside here. I feel like I have more cold sensitivity in the last couple of days. So, Wednesday, I'm filming this Saturday evening. Wednesday, I had the chemo. Friday, I finished it and got disconnected. I want to say at 3 p.m. Got to go to Guilford this time, so that was kind of nice. And I feel like I have more cold sensitivity. It had been in my toes, my mouth and throat, and my fingertips, and now it's the soles of my feet as well. I also have, since yesterday, started in the right shoulder. It's in my notes. Started in my right shoulder. I think just like a soreness, like I had worked out. So I'm kind of thinking back, what did I do in all my classes today? And it's like I didn't really do anything to that, especially. And then it became my calves, really sore, as though, kind of post-workout sore. And then that's continued today, except it's my left shoulder, not my right. Although not much in the left shoulder, but it's continued in the calves just straight through the day. And today also into my lower and middle back. So that's been kind of more in my calves than anywhere, but more in my back than my shoulder, I guess, if that makes sense. So anyway, tougher day. Didn't really eat anything today. Had a few bites of something Chicky made, so I was grateful for that for sure. But I even tried a few different things for breakfast, and nothing was really gonna meet me where I was. So I just ultimately kind of felt averse. So I'm really hungry now, but I also can't really imagine what I might want to eat. That's fine. I'll go to bed without eating, and it'll be fine. The doctor told me Wednesday I was tolerating the chemo very well, so that's good. They said my kidney, I don't know if they said function, but basically reading blood test results, they said my kidneys were doing better than before. So the doctor was surprised. It was a new doctor or attending. I'm not quite sure his role, but they had a discussion. I talked to the researchers, and they didn't seem like they were going to change anything with my plan. So that kind of makes it seem like if they don't have to adjust, then that's good. I'm presuming the adjustments would be because I'm not tolerating something well, or my values are going out of range or something. So that seemed pretty good. I'm trying to look at a date here, but maybe that will come in a moment. I did notice that they scheduled me for a CT scan. I think I mentioned that in the last video, which looks like it's December 28th. And that'll be in Guilford too. We didn't even talk about that when I was there Wednesday. It'll come up when it comes up. It's on my schedule. It'll happen. So I assume that they'll see what they expect to see and would like to see then, and then we'll be talking about surgery. I don't know how soon that would happen, but that's what's happening. I did note that they set up a couple of my chemo appointments. It looks like they're the same thing every 2 weeks on a Wednesday. That would mean that the next one would be the 21st. It's been tough on my Wednesday night students because this time the chemo started later, so I missed a class, and my last class, both times I just haven't been able to do it. We had weather and things going on too, which probably made it easier to make a decision not to have my later Wednesday class, private lesson. So sorry, Ken. I feel badly about that. I really do. And I don't think he can be particularly flexible in terms of switching to another date. I think I offered him Tuesday, so maybe that's a possibility, but trying not to have any of it disturb any of my students, but it is going to be what it is, and I'm grateful for everybody's kind demeanor and flexibility, I did notice that they put me in on, is this January 7th? Which I think, yeah, January 7th, which looks to be a Saturday, for a, what's called the Hematology Oncology Infusion Session, I guess. That'll be in New Haven. That'll be my first time going there. Nobody told me about it. I just saw it on the schedule that I can see in the health app. Really didn't want to go to New Haven for anything. I assume I would for surgery, but at least it's a Saturday, and on the thing it says just for an hour. So I'm guessing that means that after X number of chemo sessions, they want to help me with T cells or something in terms of my blood, to bring up my immune system. That's just my guess, but I don't really know. I don't really particularly need to know. I'm going to just do what they say to do, and that's on the calendar. So that's another thing. And I was looking through, kind of charting, looking through all my blood tests, which, again, I kind of see on the app. And I don't really, certainly I'm not a doctor. I don't know what all this means. So it's called Cancer Antigen 19-9. I don't know if that's how you say it, if they say 19-9 or whatever, but apparently the standard range is under 35, right? And from what I saw researching just a tiny bit, was that under 2.5 is normal. And for like, I guess, non-cancer, right, diagnosis, over 20 is indicative of metastatic cancer. And so I guess the first time I see it on my chart, the first time it was tested was October 31st, and my number is 27, which sounds right to me based on that tiny bit I learned, or think I learned, which is that over 20 is metastatic, and that's what I am. But it seems to me that if I'm still under 35, it's not terribly bad. It's over 20, not great. It's over 2.5, also not good. But it's under 35. So that sounds like it could be worse. Again, I don't really know what I mean, and this is just one of the many things they're measuring, but I was able to look at this. So that was 10/31. On 11/9, my value was 24. So I went from 27 to 24. Again, I don't really know what all this means, but that sounds encouraging. And of course, that's, starting chemo, so to me, that's seeming like, well, maybe that's encouraging that it is doing something. So anyway, I was at 27 on 1031, at 24 on 11/9, at 15 on 11/17, and then 12/7, which is just Wednesday when they took my blood, my value was under 9. So to me, that seems like that's a pretty good, encouraging track, still over 2.5, but also the rate of that track is actually speeding, maybe not a lot. And I don't know if this is like a normal track or it's expected or I should actually be doing better, or even if this means all that much. But certainly seems good that there wasn't just a blip of encouragement and then a reversal. It seems like it's all kind of tracking the right way and seeming to be speeding. So that's pretty encouraging to me. And under 9 sounds like we're definitely for the last 2 tests under that 20 number, which I'm sure doesn't mean the metastases have entirely gone away, but still encouraging, I think. And okay, so, and anyway, and it says under 9, so I'm wondering if that means that this test that they do isn't that granular. So once it gets, let's say, under 9, it's not going to give us a specific number. So maybe the test that they do now changes because they want to figure out what number I am under 9. I don't really know, because it was interesting. All the other ones were a particular number, and this one was simply under 9. But I'll presume it's 9, not 0 or 1, just to keep things seeming realistic. Anyway, I managed to teach my classes, get a lot of stuff filmed, but currently I was kind of pretty low energy. Wasn't headachy today, but definitely just off. Not comfortable in any kind of cold. We got snow coming, so that should be extra fun. And definitely not comfortable eating. But I did finally, even though I'm just literally in bed, not even dressed, figure I can try and send an update out. Thank everybody for the support. And I still haven't really reached out to anybody to offer thanks or gratitude or replies. It's just not within my capacity to reach out to all the specific people who have reached out to me in all the many ways. So it feels to me like the best I can do is do a broadcast like this, record it, post it. It's there. The amount of time and energy, emotional, mental, and otherwise, for me to reply to each individual person doesn't seem possible to me. And I know there's definitely people that definitely feel like they're an exception to that, and they're maybe annoyed or frustrated or upset or angry, I don't know, that I'm not getting back to them. And I just have to say, I think that their response is their responsibility. Try to be upfront from the beginning, what I expected, what I prefer, what I think I'm able to do. So far, that seems to have proved out. Doesn't mean I'm ungrateful for the reach outs or the check-ins, but even just somebody wanting to stop by to check in, like that's a cost to me. That's energy and time. So it's an intrusion. Again, appreciate that somebody wants to stop by and wants to drop off food and wants to check in and offer advice, of course, but imagine that, times 500 or something, and that's not going to help me focus on my getting better. So now it's just a diary and I'm talking at the lens. I don't think I have anything more to report. Anyway, this is my bed. This is where I whisper goodnight to Saki every evening. I'm facing his grave right now. So keep practicing and keep learning. Love.